What's up, guys? This is Tom Burkhardt from Car-Revs Daily, out for a first drive review in the 2016 Mercedes-Benz GLC300 4MATIC. This truck looks awesome. It looks so rear drive and so cool in the flesh. I love it. So we have it in Sport Plus mode right now, and this GLC300 that we are testing out has the AMG Sport styling kit, as well as a bunch of other really cool goodies that take its about $40,000 base price up to an as-tested price at just under $60K. But let's talk about a couple other things before we talk about pricing. First off, we'll talk about how the GLC300 does on the road, how it drives. Next, about its cabin luxury and amenities, and then finally we'll try to cover some price stuff at the end. So, all right, so this GLC300 is brand new for 2016, and it's based on the C-Class rear drive platform, but is an awesome all-wheel drivable wagon. It's either rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive in the 4MATIC version, and this GLC300 runs a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, making 241 horsepower, 273 foot-pounds of torque through a 9-speed automatic, which feels really good on first drive. We have it in Sport Plus mode right now. We've got a variety of modes to select among, and this engine loves to rev. I'm sitting, I've been sitting in manual 3 for a little bit here, but lots of enthusiasm from this engine in any mode. The cabin feels outstanding. The drive position is stellar. I think these are probably optional, but we have the adjustable seats with, or of course, power adjustable seats with an extendable seat base squat, power steering column, fantastic level of adjustability, and you can really get into that sort of low and deep, sporty, driving position that we love so much. Steering is very viscous and smooth. It's also pretty heavy in the Sport Plus setting, and has decent feel. Definitely has good feel, and eager turn in, but it's very isolated at straight ahead, which is nice. Feels really calm and luxurious. Oh, the car is really impressive so far. I love the GLC's stance. I love its cabin room. It's available airmatic suspension that it inherits from the C-Class, where the C-Class is the only vehicle in its segment that offers air suspension, and it looks like the GLC will have a similar claim to fame in its compact cross segment. Feels quick. This transmission is very interesting. It's got obviously a ton of gears, 9 gears first off, but in those upshifts, it has a little bit of AMG style, kick that comes in as the torque engages, which is really nice for such a mainstream model. That may change for the different modes. So we'll go to comfort and see if it drives a little bit differently on those upshifts, but really generally a very quick car with deceptive speediness versus its on paper horsepower ratings, which 241 might not be something to write home about, but this new Mercedes Turbo 4 for the new generation is an extremely strong engine, and is also extremely tunable. This similar blueprint and dimensions of an engine, of course, are able to put out up to like 370 horsepower in some of the the GLA and the CLA. So that's really good. And it really, being able to tune the engine is a good roadmap for a year after you own it. Perhaps you get a chip or something, or switch the airbox, and really be able to upgrade this engine to deliver some stonking power. At which point, you really have potentially one of the most awesome cars on the market for hauling dogs, light gravel, rally style off-roading, and then but also have the luxurious cruisability and rear drive handling that you want in day-to-day drives. It really seems like a terrific balance. I love the car so far, in case that is not clear. So we are down in Georgia today. Do some manual downshifts. Go back to Sport Plus first off, and big kickdown, big turbo surge. Nice. So extremely refined engine. We have just a little bit of growl from the engine on full throttle, but very, very isolated. super quiet inside. We've got your camera mounted up on this this full width moonroof here, so I don't want to open it up, but it does look like it opens up nicely. And a very decent back seat. I mean, this is a bigger, longer version of the C-Class, so it benefits from the changes to the latest Gen C-Class in its wider width and massively improved sophistication throughout. And it definitely is going to be a star. It's a very different drive proposition than the X4 and X3, which feel fairly conventional, versus this really interesting take on the crossover segment. This is going to be one of the sportiest out there, as a longitudinally mounted engine that is as standard in rear drive form. It even with 4MATIC, it just has really different handling characteristics than what you get in the typical front drive crossovers. Even the hottest ones, like the new BMW X440 X-Drive, 40i X-Drive, sorry, I can't say that. Like the new 340 version of the X4, and even like Macan Turbo. I mean, even those cars, while similarly all-wheel drive and with a similar engine layout, they're really different in their overall approach to the torque split and weight distributions and stuff like that. This GLC really pivots like a rock star. I think we'll have to check the option sheet in a few moments to see if we've got adaptive steering, but I believe we do, because for that U-turn, as you might have seen, it only took a teeny bit of lock, and when you turn the wheel hard in that situation, it is going to be able to give you so much. It's really nimble, so we got a little ESC intervention there, no big deal. Loving the car. This thing drives really nicely. The steering firms up really terrifically at speed. It is extremely pure tracking right now. So like from 70 miles an hour, like where we are now, or closer to 50 to match that speed limit sign. You sticklers, you video sticklers, you. From there, the steering, which is fairly light around parking lot speeds, really gets meaty and serious, and wants to maintain that dead ahead tracking. We've also got a bunch of really cool active safety tech on this particular GLC300, and lots of other luxury too. It's going to be hard to go through this whole list, but we do have like $20,000 in options. So base price $40,950, as tested 50 with delivery $59,155. Some of the big options, it looks like, are the $1,500 moonroof, $2,800 driver assistance package, a night styling package for $300, totally critical, sport package for $29.50, so that's pretty big. So that's like AMG body styling, different seats, dash with top stitching, and other enhancements to the vehicle. And those AMG or the sport pack and the night styling package are going to be critical to having the cool looks of this GLC300. As you will see in the photos, I'm going to flip a quick U-turn here and then try to find a place to snap some pics of this car. Let's pop it around. Nice. So we've got 4MATIC, but it's a really rear drive bias system. It just feels like the rear end is doing the driving, similar to some of the greatest AMG vehicles lately, like my favorite, the E63 AMG Estate. But where it feels just like 90% rear drive with just a slight little bit of front drive coming in to help you when you need to pull it out of around. Like exiting a corner, for example, when having front drive in an all-wheel drive setup is beneficial, and but otherwise is very rear drive, and is even like driftably rear drive, which is nice. So we switched just to general sport mode versus sport plus, and the difference on launch is pretty marked. There's a little bit more of I don't want to say delay, but it's a little less. It doesn't pounce off the ground quite as quickly as it does in Sport Plus, and the upshifts, as we saw, and can hopefully demonstrate, nice, really good paddle shift controls. The upshifts do not include that sort of, well, they don't have as pronounced of an upkick jolt that you get in Sport Plus. They still are not DSG smooth, but are very, very mild, and for most part throttle drives will be nearly imperceptible. But this engine is focused on delivering not just great economy and great in-gear acceleration, but also a really good 0 to 60, which this car delivers. I think it's, even with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, the GLC300 comes in with, I think, like a 6.2 second sprint to 60, which is outstanding. And then and it also has really does great on the mileage with its various eco settings, and you can even get better mileage out of it than its on paper stats, which are 21.28, which is pretty good for an all-wheel drive crossover, and an average of 24. Very, very good. This car is terrific. This is really a sweet spot in the Mercedes-Benz range. The GLC300 is available now from Mercedes-Benz nationwide with a base price, like we said, of about 40 grand, and it's outstanding. It's so good. I like it so much better than the GLA. I'm very sorry to report that I think I'm just maybe I'm getting too old or too fat for Mercedes' most compact range. But really, I feel supremely more comfortable than I ever did in the GLA 40.